Hi, everyone. Um, okay, the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Wands. So that's a really nice card. So this is a wonderful card. He's all about, he's a very enthusiastic and motivating influence in your life or aspect of yourself. But he's very mature. So this king, um, he's able to stay motivated long after the initial spark or inspiration happens. And since he's able to stay motivated, he's able to keep others motivated as well. So, an underlying theme of this month is that something that you've been, um, that's inspired you, um, you've been able to stay with and work with and persevere with. So not everyone can do that. It's very difficult to stay motivated, especially when things aren't going perfectly all the time, and to recommit and reaffirm and continue keep that energy going through projects and whatever you're passionate about. So let's see what we have and see how that ties in. In the work category, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this card talks about the ups and downs in life, and the real lesson of it is that if you can ride in the center of the wheel, then you're not as subjected to the ups and downs, the highs and lows, and you're able to sort of just ride out situations in the middle, in peace, and staying centered in the center of the wheel, and not getting caught up in sort of the ups and downs and the drama. So as maybe things are a little, I don't know if volatile is the right word, but sort of, um, there's just a lot going on around you, spinning around you, maybe drama and gossip and things like that. And maybe some people getting raises, some people getting fired, changes in the company, things like that. Or maybe you're self-employed and you have, periods of great prosperity and periods of, not a whole lot going on. So if you can stay centered in the middle of the wheel and um, use not get too caught up in the ups and downs. So if you have a really prosperous period I'll stay with the self-employed example, don't go out and blow all your money and just think, oh, woohoo, I'm doing awesome, and and forget that there may be those valleys as well where things are not as productive. Maybe, people may be spending more money on the holidays and not as much money on um, the services you provide, etc. So, and that way, when things are low, you're still doing okay because you didn't get too caught up in the highs either. So at work, try to stay really centered and grounded and not get caught up in sort of any of the um, you know minutia that's going on around you. In the relationship category, we have the Three of Swords. So some people, these are new cards, so I'm looking. So the Three of cards usually depicts a heart with three swords stabbed through it, which is I like that this card is much gentler. Basically, in a relationship in your life, you're going to feel um, a little bit of heartache. Okay, you're going to feel that someone was insensitive to you. Swords are all about thoughts. And so this is someone's actions and thoughts um, made you feel betrayed or hurt. So sometimes when these things happen, in the moment, we feel very devastated and becomes sort of all consuming, and this sort of reminds me of the lesson of the Wheel of Fortune. And we always put the experiences and stories of our life. So if we've been hurt in the past, it becomes, oh, see, people always do this to me, and we would just interject and bring a lot of extra baggage. Whereas perhaps if you can step back and look at the situation, it may not be as personal as you think, or it may not be as bad as you think in the grand scheme of things. For some people, I do think someone will treat you poorly. And so in your relationships, you have to think, if someone does something, and usually these types of people will have had red flags in the past, but maybe this is just more obvious. So this may not be a new thing or a complete surprise, but it's one like you can't be in denial about anymore, perhaps. Um, you really need to ask yourself, why do I have a relationship with this person? This can just be a friend. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. But, what are you willing to put up with? And why are you willing to put up with it? What are you really getting out of this relationship? And, do you really need to hang on to it if it's just going to bring you heartache or feelings of betrayal? I think a lot of people have way too many friends in their lives that really are serving no positive purpose. The home, the Knight of Pentacles, very nice. So an offering, a change in the home. I mean, this lady's smiling. The horse is happy. They're coming home with, this big pentacle. So Knights are all about change in the suit that they're in. So this is change in home, health, work, spirituality even. So there's going to be a change. You could move, you could be fixing up your home. A new job could allow you to get a new home or make changes and upgrades in your house. But it's a feeling of prosperity coming into your home, um, which is very nice. So maybe even for some people, getting rid of this person out of your home might be, or maybe you leaving. That's only for a very few people, but okay, I'm going to move on and before I start talking about them all together. And in the spirituality category is the witch or the magician. So yeah, so this card is saying that, you can really manifest whatever you want in life. You have all the tools and power necessary to create the life that you want. So if you find yourself in this situation of, someone treating you badly, but do you want to be like that? Like, oh, why is, that person doing something? Or do you want to be like this, like prospering and happy and moving forward and changing things and bringing in abundance and happiness into your life? And it's hard because, you have to stay motivated to make changes in your life, significant, meaningful changes. You have to be able to stay motivated through the ups and the downs. So maybe you were doing really well, staying centered at work, but then your home life, your relationships, one part, a relationship that meant something to you, sort of something, negative happened, but if you're able to stay, so don't let, this Three of Swords completely derail you, if that makes sense. You're staying centered at work, your home life, you are going to usher in positive change, and you're learning that you can manifest what you want. So the only caution in this reading is, if you do end up where someone a friend or a romantic partner, does you wrong, do you need to hang on to that? Or why are you hanging on to that? That's probably the question. And try not to let this cloud all the other good areas of your life, because you're really coming into your own, I think, with being able to manifest what you want out of your life. And the other meaning of this card is, as above, so below. Just, be careful not to stoop to someone else's level. And I don't see you doing that, but that's the only real caution of this card. And I don't really see that, though. I see you moving on, actually, and being happy. Like, it's like it was I feel like this is almost that last straw. And at first you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And then you're like, you know what? I can believe it, because this person has not treated me well. And why the heck am I continuing to put up with it? And it's like that realization, you're just sort of free, and just be like, you know what? I'm moving on. And so I think you're actually going to derive a lot of satisfaction and confidence. And you're just going to move on and be manifesting a lot positive things in your life, and leaving that negative situation behind.